Okay. So, something happened. I don't know what. I don't know when. So, I think I lost that whole live stream, which was nice. And I'm being sarcastic when I say that. So, I'm back. Just wanted to thank you all for, if you were with me on the last stream, that is gone somewhere in the nether. So, yeah, I started it over, and I'm sure I was talking and it cut out. Maybe I wasn't talking because I don't know exactly when it got cut out. It said 82 minutes, but since it was stuck in some kind of buffer or something, I had to just close out the app and I lost that stream. So I can't repost it. And all that work was not saved for posterity. So maybe it was for the best. Anyways, we'll just continue on, soldier through the disappointment of not having that stream to watch later on. Not that there was a whole lot of excitement, but if I try to do time lapse, I don't have that to use. Anyways, shouldn't be too bummed that I don't have it for time lapse, because who knows if I would even do a time lapse. So let's just continue on, and we're almost to the end. I should maybe, let's see here, share this with my buddy. It's live streaming, right? Yep, I see it. There we go. And this is still playing, so I don't know if it had something to do with the storm that's coming through. Yep, our dog Lily is just hanging out down here next to the table. She's probably bummed because she couldn't be outside too long. But the wind right now is crazy. It's dark and yeah, I don't want to get hit by any flying debris, so she can't be out there on her own. I mean, she went pee, but I'm sure she was bummed out because she couldn't hang out there and sniff around. So I'm hoping to finish this before we have to get off to make dinner. So we'll just keep pushing through. Here's our co-pilot. It's Kitty. Key cat. Don't be knocking my stuff all around town. Let's, dude, come on. I'm not trying to pet your backside. I'm trying to get that live stream up. Okay, Kiki. Getting so close to having this one filled in. So I'm not sure where I was at with my rambles. I think I was talking about school, my schooling, and school. And working at a local cooperative grocery store in Minneapolis. And this was 98. So I think I had quit the casino. Can't remember if that was just after the new year or late winter, early spring. Because I know I remember starting at the co-op in May of 98. Because I worked there from 98 to 2000. So let's see, through the people I met, some of the people I met at the Wedge, I met some other artists, and since we were all young, one was in art school, the other, I'm not sure if he was in art school, and cut out, or if he was still in art school. But we all came together and decided to have a showing of our work. And that was my very first experience showing my work. Actually, I can't say that because a prerequisite for being able to show where we were going to show, which was a gallery slash coffee shop, which was a double space. One side was the actual gallery, like a gallery, and the other side was a coffee shop. And that's where, I mean, the space was just as big as the gallery space, but it had all the, you know, the seating and, you know, the stuff that a lot of coffee shops have. So, but they had wall space, and that's where we had our showing. And it was the three of us, and for me to show at that time with those guys, since I hadn't had any showings before that, the owner of the gallery coffee shop, his name was Jonathan. He ran Gus Lucky's gallery, which was on Lake Street, just off or down the street from Lake Street and Cedar Avenue. And so he was gracious enough to let us show at his space in the coffee shop. I don't think we had to pay anything, but the prerequisite was because I hadn't, probably out of the three of us, I hadn't had any showing experience. So he set up a showing of my work at another coffee shop at that time. I know it's in my CV. It's defunct now. So is the Gus Lucky's gallery. Closed down probably, I don't know, sometime in the early 2000s maybe. It was a cool space, and he did a lot of events, and so he set this showing up for me at another coffee shop, kind of not in the West Bank, actually not West Bank, but it would have been the East Bank of the University of Minnesota. Oh man, I wish I would remember the gallery or coffee shop's name, but it was off of University and just past all the business district there, on that side of the river. Now there's like what is it, the Green Line train that goes kind of through that area. And so I had my work up there. There was no like reception or anything. It was just my work just needed to be up and be shown, because I did not have that under my belt. I mean, I was, let's see, 98 or 99? I would have been, if it was 98, I would have been, geez, why can't I do math? Actually, it might have been 99 or 2000, because I was either 26 or 27. And I don't know if that's late for somebody. I mean, I've been making art since, like I said, I was 18, but probably starting around 90, 93, 94, really, doing stuff. Definitely 94 through up till that point, and really going hard for me as far as creating works. When I was working at the Wedge, so had that show at the coffee shop, which gave me the thumbs up to have the show with the guys at Gus Lucky's. And I'm sure the other guys are kind of bummed because we didn't get the actual gallery space to show in. But for me, for my very first outing in the world of showing art, I was pretty stoked. To use a vernacular of that time, just before that time. And yeah, I think, when did we have that show? Was it in August? Fun fact, my uncle, on my dad's side, he did the flyer for our show. He was a professional, worked in the ad industry, and he did that for us. Thing was, I don't think he was too stoked on the name of the show. It was called The Color Scam, which I think when we were coming up with ideas for the name, I suggested The Color Scheme, because the 2 out of the 3 of us, our works were very colorful. I mean, there was 2 painters, and the third, he did sculpt, like 2D, kind of relief wall hangings. They weren't real, well, he had some sculptures, but they were like, I'm trying to remember what he called it. It was like a process. I don't know if he created the mold and then he made the work from the mold. I'm assuming that's how he did it, because he used various found objects to build up his relief work, and then cast it. God, I wish I could remember what it was. The process was called. Cool stuff. I don't know how stoked he was on with his work. It wasn't that colorful. I mean, he painted these things, and they were kind of maybe a muted palette, so kind of like more grays. So he thought, since his work wasn't very colorful, that he threw his say or hat in the ring as far as the title for the show, with Color Scam, and me not really giving a crap at that time, even though I was like, man, why couldn't we be Color Scam? I mean, I'm not trying to scam nobody. And I'm sure my uncle thought the same way. Like, what? Why are you going Color Scam? And I told my uncle, man, my idea was Color Scheme. Maybe that just wasn't that wasn't edgy enough for the late 90s. You know, my generation, you know, had to be, you know, edgy. It's like, really? Y'all smoke a bunch of pot and you're not that edgy. Oh, don't get me wrong, I smoke pot too, so, and I knew I wasn't edgy. I mean, I skateboarded, that's about as edgy as I got. I wasn't, you know, maybe yelled at some security guards here and there, but, you know, I wasn't punk. I mean, I was a punk, but I wasn't punk, like punk rock. So, anyways, I guess and the other guy, the other painter, that was Aaron. His name was Aaron. The sculptor, his name was Serge. Yeah, I guess it was Aaron was like, cool, whatever too. So we went with Color Scam, and that was on the flyer that my uncle made. It was a photographer friend of Aaron's took all our portraits. So my portrait was crazy looking. The look on my face screams, this guy, there's definitely something wrong with this guy. He's got a few screws loose. He's gonna murder somebody. But when I took the photo, for some reason, I just had like, it was just like funny to me. So I was trying not to laugh, and I just had this, I guess, this serious kind of stare, but trying to hold back a smirk. Or there was a smirk. I don't know. I can't remember. I haven't seen the photo in such a long time. I probably have it somewhere. But I noticed that with other photos, like when I know I'm having my picture taken, it's hard for me not to laugh at the fact that this is supposed to be serious, but I don't make it serious. And so I always end up with these intense looks on my face while trying to hold back a laugh. But, yeah. So my uncle took those photos, put it on the flyer, tweaked it some. It was black and white. No color, because I think Serge didn't want any color. Serge is, oh man, I'm not sure what exact country. He might be Russian, but it could be in one of those Baltic states, somewhere around there. But I think he was Russian. Good guy, you know. Haven't seen him in such a long time, probably over 20 years. Same with Aaron. I haven't seen Aaron in that since that show. And I liked Aaron's work. I didn't understand it at the time. He did a lot of portraits of people he saw on the streets, and they weren't naturalistic portraits. They were his interpretation, but but they're definitely figurative and colorful. And like I said, I didn't quite understand it at the time. I didn't understand a lot of shit at that time for being 26, 27. Again, that's because all I cared about was making art and skateboarding. And skateboarding definitely took up the majority of my life. Even though at that time I wasn't I wasn't skating like I was when I was younger. Like doing tricks, going out, skating the streets, uh, all the time, going, just heavy into it like I was in the mid late 80s to pretty much, I would say, the early 90s. Because once I started working at the casino in 94, I don't think I was skating as much. I probably was, but not as much as I had been before that. Like literally skating 7 days a week, like all the time. And so that's why I am suffering for it now. And I can't jump. I can barely jump because I don't put in the time to take care of my body in that way. So I mean, I could push around. I get tired pretty quickly. I can push around. I can, hit the quarter pipes, grinds and stuff like that. I ain't doing no airs. There's a lot of lip tricks. That's where you do tricks on the coping and coping is either the metal edge up top the quarter pipe, or it could be cement, but typically it's metal. In the past they used to use PVC pipe, so kind of a plastic, which thank goodness that didn't last long, and most people knew better and used metal for coping. I mean, if all you had was the PVC, then it would suffice, but you come down hard on that, you're gonna crack that stuff. And it slid real easily, especially if you had deck rails, which were plastic strips that you could screw to your bottom of your board, which made it a lot easier to slide your board on things. So anyways, back to the show. I kind of got sidetracked there. I think it was in August, like the very early August. So our show, the opening of the show, we kind of had some bad weather. I can't remember if it rained. Like the weather got really crazy right before the opening. I mean, people were coming. It was pretty crazy. So many people came through, and I think that surprised Jonathan, the owner of the gallery, because I don't know if he was seeing those kinds of turnouts at his gallery openings. But then again, it wasn't like they were buyers of art. It was just like all our friends and family and people, but it made for a pretty good event, I'd say. And work was up for probably a month or so. I'm sure I had like 6 or 7 pieces. A lot of them were like mid to large. If you want to say 3 foot by 4 foot is large, I want to say that's like medium large. Nowadays people do gigantic stuff, so these right here would be miniatures. It's like miniature painting on the large end. It's definitely small, but yep. I think my biggest painting there was 3 foot by 4 foot, and a friend of mine, he bought that from me, and he's had it, I can't remember exactly what year, maybe like 2000, or maybe somewhere around 2003, because I hadn't seen him in a while. I mean, he was like a skater friend that I met. All these Northeast Minneapolis cats that I became friends with after my brother stopped skating. So I kind of had, I mean, we ventured out away from our neighborhood and we were all over, and I mean, because we had ramps and stuff that we would pull out in the street, we'd have kids coming from all over, like north side, I mean some from northeast Minneapolis, come and you know, just skate. It was a skate park before there were skate parks, because we had quarter pipes, jump ramps, we had rails, like flat rails you could slide. You know, just, man, I think we even had like mini ramp. We had like a mini ramp, a few different incarnations of a mini ramp in our backyard. You know, people would come over and skate. Oh man, our first mini ramp, we screwed that sucker up. It was like 3 foot, 2.5 foot, with like 3 or 4 inches of vert. It's like, who has a mini ramp with vert? The transitions were so tight. It's like, but I mean, we skated it. The plywood didn't last long. It was like super crappy plywood that we made off with from some local construction site, but it was like the cheapest stuff, like not even good 1/4 inch plywood, and we put that on, and it was definitely busting through. We were busting through it right away, cracking holes in it, but we still skated it, and yeah, we were the destination spot for, you know, skateboarding in the late 80s in North Minneapolis. There were other people that had stuff, but, you know, we met them a little later on, but we had a lot of local people in our neighborhood who got into skateboarding because of, you know, what we had. And we were always cool with, you know, people coming over. We just wanted people to skate with. So if you were cool, we were cool. We didn't have the attitude that a lot of dudes had at that time, especially for transition skaters. Was like, you don't know jack squat. You're new to this, so we're gonna give you the cold shoulder. And it's like, dang man, that's what this has come to. Like the death of transition skating. It's like no wonder street took over. You didn't need to have a ramp or know anybody to go skate in the street. You just hit the street and go find a spot to skate. And that's what we would do too. But my brother gave that up, and so I had to find. I skated by myself for a while. But I would just, randomly, go outside of my neighborhood and go skate, find spots. Like, I mean, the local skate shops at that time that we went to were all on the other side of town, so we either skated all over there, or if we had somehow had access to bus fare, we would ride the bus and then skate from downtown over there. Oh, I keep talking about the art show, but slipping off into skateboarding. Yeah, before I started painting, skateboarding is kind of what progressed me to that point because of all the art and stuff. The art on the skateboards. Old Thrasher magazines had the different ads and stuff, and that stuff was inspirational to my young mind. So, yeah, I tried my hand at trying to draw skateboard graphics and also graffiti. I mean, graffiti was, I think it was maybe 85, maybe 86 that they aired Style Wars on public television. And I think I saw it, but I mean, I don't know how else I would have remembered any of that if I hadn't seen it. But I know I saw it much later. Like, is it the 2000s? But I know I had seen it before that. But it could have been also the movie Wild Style. That featured a bunch of other graffiti artists. Some who are still practicing, who are alive and still practicing their art. I mean, Lee Quignon, I'm gonna butcher his name, Quinones, and the artist Lady Pink, was like a Charlie Ahern film. And geez, was Ram LZ in that? Oh man, so many. I'm sure there was so many people in that film that I've heard their names, but don't know who they are. Maybe seen their art, but yeah, I think at that time, man, I was probably like 11 years old, and I know when we swam for the Boys and Girls Club, one of our teammates and Peyton Scott, spacing his last name now. He's still making art, teaching, doing graffiti classes and stuff in Minneapolis and all around. I remember back behind the Boys and Girls Club on the north side of Minneapolis, there was a school called North Star Elementary, and it had these crazy kind of like basketball courts or play area. It was like all surrounded by the walls of the school, and just walls, like cement walls, and they could have been, I mean, I was small. I don't know if that stuff's still there. I haven't been over there in ages. As far as like the school and that setup, but those walls had to be at least 12 feet, if not higher, because they had basketball hoops on the walls in some areas, if my memory serves me right. And we didn't know this at the time, you know, being on the team, you know, 11 to 13. Peyton was our senior by 5 years, 4 or 5 years, at least my senior by 4 or 5 years, because he was pretty much graduating and leaving to go off to college. I think my first year on the team, maybe second. Well, let's see. No, but probably 13. So the team was kind of ending. He was going off. He was graduating high school and going off to school to attend the School of Arts in Chicago, the Institute of Chicago. And yeah, at the time, we didn't know this, but we would go back there because we started getting into skateboarding, and it was a cool place to go skateboard. But there was all this graffiti all around the basketball court. Now, I don't know if it was only him, but I think all that work that was back there was his. I don't think that was like his spot. And yeah, it was crazy to go back there and just to see all that graffiti, because like I think he was doing stuff out of mimicking stuff or copying stuff and doing it on the walls, and he was from either subway art or spray can art, the books that Henry Chalfant and Martha Cooper came out with. I can't remember if they did both those books, or if they collaborated on one and the other did one. I don't know. It's been so long. I remember a friend having Subway art. I do have spray can art. My wife got me probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Anyways, he did all these graffiti pieces back there, and I always wonder, like, did he do that after swim practice? He'd go back there after swim, like late swim practice, after you're all tired, and doing this routine that we would do. I know I'd be one of the last ones to finish, the practice, and if he got done early, he'd probably left those practices and went back there to go paint. And I didn't know this until much later on, when I seen him when we were older as adults, and like him mentioning that, and it's just like, that's crazy, because we used to go back there skate, and I would just be in awe that somebody did all this graffiti, cool ass graffiti on these walls, and just like we're just trying to figure out who and where and when they did all, like, where did this person come from, and who was this person, and when the hell were they doing this? So at 12, 13 years of age, and I mean, hip hop was like, taking off. This would have been 84, 85. And it was just like a pure time. And then for me, and then, the 90s hit. It's like I graduated in 1991 and had no idea what I wanted to do other than skateboarding and art. Lily. But I've actually, hey, stop it. Probably, I don't know, it was like maybe 2016 or whatever. Maybe 2017, 18. Hooked back up with painting, and he invited me to come, paint on the wall that was just outside his studio and stuff. And we did a wall together, and I got pictures of that. He did his days pieces, and I did a character piece. I think I did like a dragon coming out of this zombie's mouth with frogs holding up the dragon like it was one of those Chinese like celebration with the fireworks dragons. I don't know. Kind of Disney-esque. I mean, the dragon. But it was pretty cool. I thought it turned out great, the wall. I mean, his piece was freaking rocking. And I was just hoping that my character, matched that. But yeah, it was cool. I was pretty stoked when he asked me to do that. I didn't. But yeah, he's still teaching graffiti classes and doing shows and having shows and making art and graffiti. He still goes out and paints. I mean, this guy's got kids, and they're getting older, but like, you still have a family, you get to take care of and stuff. And I mean, I'll be 51 here in July. He's at least 5 years older than me. He's still making it happen. Come on, Corey, man, these little teeny things are taking the longest. Sitting yipping and yapping about the old days, the old days. 'Cause you old. Yep, so I had my first showing at 27 and been doing this art thing since then. And I still enjoy watching other people paint, make stuff. I don't think it'll ever stop until the day it does. Dang, screwed that up. Screwed the pooch again, oh well. So this way, after I'm long gone and there's still YouTube or someplace where it houses these videos, this will be up there for posterity, for people who, check out, say, hey, here he is. He's working on that piece that's sitting here in front of our faces in the old local refuse shop for somebody to paint over. Look at that. Oh, that's a canvas I can paint over. This art sucks. Have fun painting over this. I ain't gonna make it easy for you to paint over it. 'Cause I'm into this chunky stuff now. Taste change. I couldn't have my earlier works. I can't say that because my first canvases, they weren't like super chunky, but they weren't like flat. That samurai, I think I was talking about the other day, or maybe earlier today. The big samurai, a good buddy of mine back in Minnesota, he owns it. Surprised anybody even wanted that thing. I mean, first off, it's a copy of a ukiyo-e print. Granted, it's done in oil. There might be some slight changes. I mean, the background is definitely of my own make, construction, composition. But the figure itself was something I copied. Which, when you're starting off as an artist, there's nothing wrong with copying. That's how you develop your chops. Some people just have it, they don't need a copy, they just do what they do, and that's fine. Okay, I think I got coverage on, dang, this orange is rough. All the chunky parts that was stuck, that was constipated up in there. Yep, I've done a lot of different types of painting, from strictly oil, strictly acrylic, to a mix of both. You know, acrylic underpainting and then painting over it with oils, to, man, just using all kinds of different painting materials, you know, from different techniques, like rollers, stencils, brush, random materials, making marks, you know, like a stamp would. Yep, just trying different stuff. Just trying to see and create marks. That's what this is all about. Mark making. Painting is a mark making practice. Graffiti is a mark making practice. Making marks on a surface, leaving a record of your being here on this planet, in this place, at this time. You know, the whole I was here. Get stuff all over the place again. I don't know if this is quite the surface quality I was wanting right at this time. So I'm gonna keep adding paint. Some of the areas are low. I just kind of want this chunked up. It's fun. And that's what it should be. Oh, I think initially this all started because I was talking about David Cho and his recent video. I think I was talking about that the earlier stream from today. That would be the Omizu Paintz Wildflowers number 24. This is Omizu Paintz Wildflowers number 24, part redo, because I lost part due. So you were catching the tail end of me finishing this background, because I had most of it painted in and that stream disappeared. For some reason it stopped streaming, so I better make sure, keep an eye on this. But probably be calling it soon because it's getting late and I'm sure we're gonna want to have dinner here soon before it gets too late. And the dog is getting antsy and I feel like she needs to go outside again, even though I took her out prior to starting the stream, which was about an hour ago. use up this paint that you got on here. Get real bummed out if I can't find a place for the paint, because I don't like really wasting it. I mean, I got so much paint that I purchased over the years and kind of slacked off and didn't use it. Dude, hold on a second. I'm trying to finish this. Okay. Alright, folks. I'm going to have to... I'm not going to stop it, but I'm going to have to run out. Take the dog out for a second. Because she's bugging out. She's bugging out. Bugging out. Ooh. Man, doing some swirls. I almost want to do... some Van Gogh Starry Night swirls in this with this. Right now I'm just kind of doing my little dashy dash strokes, my short strokes here. I don't want to get too caught up in trying to work it into a certain surface state quality, but because sometimes it just gets all screwed up. You like something and then you do something to screw it up, and so you gotta keep doing it till you like it again, or you just do it and let it be and not worry about if you like it or not, because somebody will like it and other people won't like it. Alright, I'm going to take the dog out. I'll be right back. You can enjoy staring at this delicious piece. You can watch the paint dry, and I'll be back, hopefully in about 5 minutes. Come on, dog. Let's go. Let's go. You need to go outside. Come on. Let's go. Okay, wasn't quite 5 minutes. He only had a pee. So let's get this moving along. Any areas that are looking a little funny? Still got a bunch of this red. Want to use that up too. Squeeze as much out of this orange. Let's see if is this guy still going? Or did he end his live stream too? Must be me only. Let's see. One watching. He must have ended. Let's see. Notifications. Yep. He ended. It says 5 hours ago. That's probably when he started. Anybody else? Get out of the notifications. Alright, let's watch Dan Corrigan's channel. Get some skateboarding in here. Okay. Well, if I get some of the underpainting showing through, I don't get too worked up over this. Okay. Well. Oh man, there's still more paint. Get that paint. Come on, orange. whatever orange paint's left on here. I know you're in there. Give me the paint back. Give it back. Give it back. That's a lot of paint. Almost need like something to scrape it with, like a palette knife. Scrape all that paint. That's a lot of paint left. That's a lot of paint that can go on the canvas. See, look at that, all that paint. Just put it somewhere. There's that. Well, you can't get it all, but you can get the majority of it. Okay. Put some over here. Put some over here. Oh yeah, that's gonna take a while for it to dry. That's gonna take a while. That's thick. She's a thick one. Oops, I didn't realize that was bulging, so why is that bulging? Oh, not the canvas, it's the underpainting. Got bulgy. careful not to drop it. Because that would suck face down. Okay. Alright, that's gotta be it. Don't want to dink around with it too long. Okay, so that's gonna be it for tonight. Except for this one little thing I want to do. Okay, gonna leave it at that. Oh man, nope. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's that. I mean, oh man, I keep saying that's that, but then I keep seeing stuff that's like, is it really? Is it really that? yeah, I mean, that's as good as I'm gonna get it right now without having to tinker with stuff. So there's that one. Yep, it turned out not too bad. For this one, not quite sure if orange was going to be the right color, reddish orange right now. Didn't use any of the blue to neutralize anything because I don't know. Kind of like the saturatedness of orange, especially you got this underpainting is kind of it's blue, and under that is yellow and probably black, maybe some black, but it's mainly blue, but it's a really dark blue, so it's hard to tell. I mean, but yeah, this one was fun. Took a long time. So this one's going into the drying rack, which is not a rack, it's just a space I've created for drying. So, okay, that'll be it for tonight. Thank you all for joining, hanging out with me, watching the paint, and listening to me ramble about a little bit of my history. And we will clean these brushes off. That's part of our process, is making sure our brushes are as cleaned. Now, there's a guy I've been following on YouTube. He goes by IM_painting_badly. And he's been oil painting for 2 or 3 years now. 3 years, since 2021, 22. And he doesn't use any solvent. He cleans his brush by keeping it in some kind of oil, walnut, whatever, and it keeps the brushes from drying out. And he just paints with the brush as is, so you know, if there's some paint in there, it's gonna end up in the mix a little bit. So, but you know, wiping off your brushes, paper towels, and you know, as long as you're not using solvent to kind of thin out that paint that's trapped in the brushes, you should be okay. You keeping it in like oil. I would definitely not use linseed oil, because linseed oil is a pain in the butt. But you know, something like, I don't know, even like vegetable oil or something, I'm sure you could use. But you know, some people use like walnut oil or something like that, you know, which might be kind of spendy, but who knows? I don't know, I haven't looked into it. But you know, it's a way of not having to use solvent and keep your brushes fresh or clean. You know, there's substitutes for that, solvents out there too. I've used some. I've always used solvents, but it can be toxic, so you have to be careful. You know, see me, I get it all over my skin. I should be wearing gloves. Better. If ventilation than just a window. You should probably have like a fan at least, kind of either blowing the air away or some kind of venting the air away. You know, you can use a mask, which is, you know, besides not having masks, probably the least preventative. But you know, you could use a respirator. It's a little better. N95 mask maybe, but the best is, you know, just sucking the air out, venting it out somewhere else, or painting out in the open air. Anyways, I'm rambling again, and it was a good night besides losing that last stream. And I just want to thank anybody that came through, checked me out, or has come through checking out my videos, whether you understand what I'm saying or not. I just do this for, you know, this YouTube thing just for fun, you know, for my own sense of, you know, pleasure, well-being, knowing that this is being documented and out there for people to see. So thanks again, and I hope you all have a good day, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at, and until next time, bye for now.